Hello everyone. For this week, this will be the last video. We will start in chapter 2. Now remember, chapter 1, all of the information that I started to explaining, those click, selection, zoom, everything in detail is written there. We always refer to them whenever we need something. All of those things that I explained, the zoom, much more detail are inside chapter 1. So whenever we need them, we can go back to chapter 1 and look at them for those kind of information. Now in chapter 2, we start with the drawing basics. Now we start drawing. In this chapter, basically, we will be learning lines, rectangle, circles, ellipse, arc, polygons, polylines. Those will be the main icons that we're gonna, the commands we'll be learning for drawing. Then we're gonna use erase, undo, redo. We already know how to delete. Erase, basically, it's kind of deleting. Undo, redo. Then we're gonna teach you some entering techniques. Why? Because an engineer, we have different way of dealing with program, or the program also having different way to take data from us. They understand us in different languages. So if we speak in the language of the program, then the program will understand what we're saying. We're going to explain this one. As I told you that normally I'm using metaphors to explain things that simply make you remember the things much easier. Now, we will start with, we will show you those icons. I explained limits. I explained limit in the previous video. I even wrote it's optional for the beginners. You can use the other two methods if you don't like limits. Now we start with drawing lines. Now any command that I will explain it in my videos, they will follow in this way. First thing, I will explain all the information. How would you be able to draw a line as engineering before going to AutoCAD? Before going to AutoCAD, how would you be able to draw a line? And what kind of information you need? Look, I need you to understand the way I'm teaching. So I'm going to teach in this way. First, theoretical about line. As engineer, we need to know what kind of information I have on line. And then the information, it's important. The second thing is important. I'm going to teach you how many methods are available in AutoCAD to draw a line. Now the schematic will be in this way. If you know how many information you have, and you know the methods in AutoCAD, then you will know that which information will be used for which method. Let's say for to draw a line, we have, for example, three different methods. Now each method required some information. Now you have to know the methods in AutoCAD. Why? Because remember, you are using AutoCAD. You cannot invent your methods. You have to follow the method that's already available in the program. So you have to know the methods that are available to draw a line. Those will be explained by me as well. So if you know the methods, you know the information, so you'll be able to find which of the methods you can use it to draw. Depending on the given information, you choose that one and to draw it. Remember, no one is forcing you to use one of the methods, but according to the given information, you can choose one of the methods to draw the line or to draw the object. Any object for drawing, I'll explain in this way. First, the information, explain them in detail. Then the methods in AutoCAD, how many methods we have them. For each method, what do we need? Remember, for each method, what do we need? Then we're going to go to AutoCAD, practice it together, and to see what will be the difficulties and the advantage, disadvantage of each of the methods. Now, for this video, I'm going to start with drawing lines. Now, to draw a line, we need to know first information. Total 6 information can be given on a line. 6 information can be given on a line. Now, how many of these information you need to draw the line in AutoCAD? It depends on the methods. Minimum 2 information required, minimum. But for some methods, 3 required. But minimum, remember, minimum 2 required. Minimum information that I need on a line, minimum. I'm saying minimum, but those 2 minimum are what? minimum 2, yes, or at least 2, at least 2 information. Sometimes there will not be enough, though even you have 2 information, but they will not fall into any of the categories to draw a line in AutoCAD. So it's not enough. You may need more information. So that's why when we say 2, minimum 2, you may need 3, you may need 4. But at least 1 is impossible. 2 is possible, but with some methods. So let's say that that's why I didn't write this one here. The minimum we may need 2, but what are those 2? We're going to explain them in detail. Now, what are the information we have? To draw a line, when using hand, we start with a point, we end the point, yes? Thus we call them 2 points. So 2 points are information. Point 1, this is point 1, this is point 2. Now, what does point means? Remember, when I say point, it's an information, yes? How can we provide point to AutoCAD? In 2 ways. Points will be provided in 2 ways. One, by left click. One will be left click. Let me type if we have typing here. Better. Yes. This will be left click. So left click, it's basically providing, when you left click, it means that you're giving a point to AutoCAD. This is one way. The second way to provide point is coordinates. Now, coordinates basically means x and y, referring to the origin. Remember, we said that in AutoCAD there is an axis which is the origin. Anything revert to that one, we have different coordinate system. We come back to them as well. But when we say a point, when someone says I have a point, it means that I can give this point, this information to AutoCAD by 2 ways, whether by coordinate or by left click. Now, what does left click means here? When left click means that you know the location. Left click here, when we say left click, basically we means that we know where is it. We know where to click. That's why we say left click. I know where is it start, where is this point is located. That's why we call left click. Sometimes it's not important, randomly you can draw it. That's why we use left click as well. So remember, anywhere within this, my lecture notes, when you see point, it can be provided in 2 ways, whether by left click or by coordinates. So when someone says that I have 2 points, what does it mean? Whether we have the coordinate of those 2 points or we know their location. Let me show it to you on in AutoCAD. What does it mean? Now let's say that I have something. Now let's say that there is a shape here. Now we want to draw a line, start from this point to this point. Now I know the location of the point, yes, those are, we call them a point. I don't know their coordinate, but I know that they start from here and at this point. So we know it, those points are a known location. I can click on the line, then this is for example, the point that I can click, and there is a point I can click. Look, I just simply use left click to provide those 2 points. This is the easiest way to draw a line if you know where is the location of this point and where is the location of the other points. This is we call a known point. Just by using left click, we can provide it. Look, what do I mean? When I activate line, AutoCAD asks me what? Specify first point. Yes, I said what? Click. So if I click somewhere, it means I am providing something to AutoCAD. That's why I'm saying please limit your click. Do not click just randomly, because any click that you do, it costs you something. Why? Because now you understand that a left click when an icon, when line is active, it means inputting data, entering data. So how to activate line? You click on the line here. This is the easiest way. Or you can just simply type L, stand for line, hit enter. Then AutoCAD is asking you specify first point. If I know where it is exactly, I can just simply come over it. I can click and I can go over the other points. Look, read the command line. It says specify next point. I can just simply click here. Then I will press escape. This is the line. I knew the 2 points. That's we call them click. we call them click here. We wrote them as click here. So we said this is click. I mean that we know where exactly, we know their location. We call them left click. The other one we said coordinate, which is x and y. You may need x and y to input those coordinates, those 2 points. Wow. Now imagine that we said minimum 2, yes? So if I have 2 points, I can draw a line. This is one of the methods. We're going to come back to them, but let's talk about the information first. Now, what else we may have it on the line? We may not have 2 points. We may have the length of the line. We may have the angle. I mean, those also possible. I mean, length and angle. So if you have the length and angle, you may use them also for a drawing. The other two that may be given is the distance between, in the horizontal distance between the 2 points and the vertical distance between the 2 points. We call them delta x, delta y. I mean, if this is x1, x2, for example, this is x1, y1. Let's say this is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. Those are coordinate. We say point is coordinate. x2, y2. So the difference between x2 minus x1, x2 minus x1 is delta x. The difference between the x and y2 minus y1 is delta y. Sometimes those will be given to us. Now let's see some example. I mean, before going to AutoCAD. Let's say there is for example, I have a triangle here. This is 4, this is 5. Now, this is what given to me. To this line, it's given the horizontal and the vertical. The vertical distance given to me. So I can simply draw this line by using this 4 and 5. I may not need the length. I may not need the angle as well. So I might be able to use those two information to draw the line. So sometimes things will be given like this. Or sometimes things given to you like this. You have a line. It's supposed to be line, sorry. A line, straight line. And you have an angle here. Let's say this is 25. I mean, this is not enough. You need the length of it. For example, the length will be 5. So you have length and angle. You can use those two information also to draw. So as I said that there will be 6 information. Which one will be given? It depends on the drawing. Sometimes a lot of information given. Sometimes few information given. Sometimes, I mean, length is given with a point. It might not be enough. This is given. So you have to find some others. That's why we said that as engineer, what is the difference between us and the other ones? We know what is required and we know how to find the missing information. Sometimes we don't have information. Remember, a drawing, someone giving it to you, they provide those dimensions there. So they may give less information. You may need to find some missing information. Those are the 6 information that we have it on line. 2 point, length, angle, delta x, delta y. I mean, difference between the horizontal, difference between vertical, between the 2 points. Now, on the other hand, how many methods do we have to draw a line? The methods that we have it in AutoCAD, so I'm going to write them here, the methods that we have it in AutoCAD that we can use to draw line. Now, first methods is 2 point. Now, first method is 2 point. Now, if I have 2 point, you'll be able to use easy one. The second method, we need a point, so 1 point plus length plus angle. Third method that we have it there, it's going to be 1 point plus delta x. I'll write it like this: delta x plus delta y. I mean the difference between x and y. The last methods we have it's the fourth one. The fourth method is using 1 point plus mouse and keyboard. We're going to come back to this one. We're going to come back to the mouse and keyboard 1 point with this one at the end. So those are the methods that we have it. Now look at them. I said that we may have 6 information, yes, but if the information does not fall within one of those categories, within one of the categories, you may not be able to draw the line. Now the last one is a bit professional way of drawing line. We may have time to teach it to you, but sometimes students, they don't prefer it because why, it's a bit confusing. You have to know how to deal with the mouse and keyboard in order to draw the line. So we're going to teach you each method step by step, each methods, how we're going to do them, what are the problem that we're facing with each of the methods, what will be the disadvantage of each of them. Now remember, now here I need 2 information. Here the first point, it can be anywhere. This point can be random. You can click anywhere. But the length and angle, it's mandatory. For example, delta x, delta y is mandatory. The first point, it might be anywhere you can click. I mean, this first point, I put it there. But remember, this point here, this one, is just a click somewhere. I mean, if you are not bounded to a coordinate system, why? Because sometimes we're dealing with a let's say we are in a city and there's a GPS. We are restricted to a GPS system. I mean, we have to use those coordinate system. In that case, that point will be important. But in a normal drawing, that point will not be important. You can freely draw anywhere. So you realize that if I have delta x, delta y with a point, I can draw. But delta x with the length, I don't have it. Yes, look, I cannot combine those things together. I don't have delta y with angle. I don't have delta y with 1 point or 2 points. No, I have delta x, delta y. Length with angle, 2 points, or 1 point with the mouse and keyboard. So if it does not fall within one of these categories, you cannot draw the line. Let's say you have delta x, you have 2 points, you have 1 point, and you have delta x, you have length. It's not enough, yes? Let's say I have 1 point, I have delta x, I have length. Is it enough to draw the line? I mean, within those 3 information, it will not fall within any of the category. 1 point I have it, delta x I have it, but I need delta y. So I have to find delta y. Let's say I have 1 point, delta x, length. This I cannot use it, I need angle. Yeah, 1 point length, but I need angle. I cannot use it. This one, 1 point delta x, I don't have delta y, you cannot use it. Here, it might be useful, but I need to know how to use the mouse and keyboard in order to do this one. Is it possible to do it? We're going to come back to this one. 2 points, I only have 1 point, so it might not be enough to do this one. So we have to find the missing information. For example, if I find delta y, I can use this method. If I find angle, I can use this method. I mean, imagine it's something like this. You have this one 10, and you have this one, for example, it's 5. I mean, it's something like this. See, make it as a dashed line. I mean, you have this horizontal distance is 5. Well, as engineer, you'll be able to find this one, yes? Can you even find the angle? You can find even the angle. Why? Because you know the sine, cosine. You'll be able to find this angle. You'll be able to find this one here. This is the delta y. If I find delta y, let's say we have this point here. If you find delta y, that will be enough. If I find the angle, still will be enough, because I have 1 point delta x, delta y, I can use this method, or 1 point length and angle, I can use these methods. So we will start with the easy one, 2 point. In 2 points we have a lot of information. So for this video, basically I'll make it, or let me make another video for 2 points, each of them separate video. So those are, remember, 6 total information, but it does not mean that if you have just few of them, you will be able to draw line in AutoCAD. No, you have to have according to the categories. So those are the methods in AutoCAD to draw a line. So if you have information from one of them, you can use it to draw that line. Now we will use all of them together, sometime this. I mean, in the same drawing we will use all of them. So it does not mean that you have to draw one shape only with this method, you cannot use the other one. No, in the same drawing I can use this one of the method, this one another method, this with another method. I mean, I can draw each line with one of the methods. So this is, keep it in mind. For the next video we'll start with the first methods, 2 points, to explain how many options we have within 2 points in order to manage them. Thanks for listening.